Wolverine Max! This is a storyline in which the character known as Wolverine is no holds bar. We get swearing, we get nudity, we get crazy stuff you would never see in a mainline Marvel comic. Except, you're not going to see it here on Comicstorian as we still censor it. But you do get a more intense Wolverine, something that reflects the movie Logan. This is the second half of Volume 2. So Logan has gotten the note and he's on his way to Las Vegas. But it's never that simple for Logan, is it? In our last video, we watched as Logan escaped to LA so that he could lay low and try to figure out what he was going to do next. One day, Logan ran into a woman calling herself Candy. She turned out to be in deep ties with a porn producer named Frankie, who had roots running throughout the drug cartel. After slaughtering Frankie and his men, Logan let Candy live after selling him out, only to find a mysterious note in his truck telling him to go to Vegas. The sun finally sets as Logan rides his bike down a long stretch of road, one that leads to Las Vegas. It's funny, he can heal from any injury, get shot up, even regrow his own legs like back in Japan. But one thing that he can't fix is getting a flat tire out in the middle of nowhere. And so, Logan sits on the side of the road with his thumb out and hopes that someone may pick up a short, grizzled-looking man who has a tendency to pop claws from his hands. As it gets darker, a van does happen to stop by, and the man inside asks where he's headed. Logan tells him Vegas. His bike got a flat. So is there anywhere that he could get it repaired? The man tells him, yeah, there's a Phillips station about 12 miles up. It won't be open until the morning, but for repairs, that's about 60 miles. That's also not going to be open until the morning. The man goes on telling him that he's at least heading towards the first. So how about he gives him a lift? He can even load his bike up. The two lift the bike onto the back of the van and the man says that his name is Sean. How about him? Logan pauses. Rick. Sean stares for a second and says that he's seen that face before. Give it some time and he'll remember it. Later the two drive down the road and Sean says, I got it. You're an extreme fighter, right? And Logan tells him, nope. Sean laughs, telling him, you're probably right. You're not big enough to be a fighter, way too small to fight. No offense. As Sean pulls up to the diner and the Phillips station, Logan begins to get out and Sean says, whoa, it's probably time that we should settle up my fee. Logan asks him, fee? And Sean says, yeah, if it wasn't for me, you'd still be out there on the road. So $100 should be good, or I'm gonna keep the bike. Get the way this works, shorty? Logan grabs Sean by the collar and face and tells him, you've got two choices. Either you can see the inside of what your own stomach looks like, or you can give me my damn bike. With that, Sean gives Logan his bike and he drives off. As Logan heads inside of the diner, he sits at the bar and the hostess asks if he'd like some coffee. Logan tells her, no, water is fine. I will have 2 burgers though, and make it 3, and keep the fries. The hostess puts the order in, and while Logan waits, a group of thugs come in asking the old man sitting next to Logan if they could have a taste of his soup. The old man doesn't answer, and the leader of the group says, that's pretty rude not to offer me some. And the man says, can't you just leave me alone? The thug pulls out a knife and he holds it to the man's throat and he tells him, fine, give me your wallet or I'll cut. Logan sighs, thinking, here we go again. And he tells the thug, how about you just do yourselves a favor and leave? The thug points his knife at Logan and tells him, you can piss off! So Logan grabs the thug's hand, crushing it, forcing the thug to the ground. While Logan holds him down, he thinks that he could just end this. Pop the claws, feel that rush of power. But no, he doesn't. He tells the thug to get the hell out and never come back. And the thug yells, okay, okay. As the thugs run out of the diner, Logan grabs his jacket and he tells the hostess, I'll take those burgers to go. As he takes his order, the old man turns back telling him thank you, and Logan tells him, you have a good night. The next morning, he wakes up from his motel to find that the gas station is still closed because of church. So after waiting around all day for the mechanics to get back, he finally gets his bike fixed and he heads out into the night. But there's something following him. Could it be the kid from the diner? Could it be that plumber Sean? Or maybe it's a cop coming after him about the Japan or LA thing. He hits the brakes, letting the SUV pass by, but after waiting a second, he gets back on his bike and he rides off. The SUV speeds up behind him again, so he hits the brakes enough to ride alongside the SUV. He throws his elbow into the driver's side window, and as he calls out to whoever is trying, they swerve off the road and they flip into a ditch. He quickly pulls over, ripping the metal apart to take the person out, and he sees the person, and he realizes it's the old man from the diner. Logan can smell the gas burning, so he grabs the old man and carries him over to the bike before the SUV explodes. Logan sets him down and he pulls out the man's wallet, and he sees that his name is Vincent Briscoe, whoever the hell that is. He rips a part of his shirt and he uses it to tie a strap around him and Vincent so that he can ride him to the nearest hospital. After riding a bit, Vincent wakes up asking where are they, and Logan tells him, you were in a car accident. I'm gonna get you some help. Vincent yells, no help. I may not heal like you, but I'll live. Logan stops the bike and he turns back stating, I'm gonna ask you one time, who the hell are you? Vincent laughs, telling him, still the same quick fuse as ever. Last night in the diner, I really thought you did change, but there are some things that don't. Seriously though, you're always gonna be a psycho piece of crap. Isn't that right, Logan? Vincent then tells Logan to keep driving. He has a place ahead. So don't play any stupid game and take him home. After a half an hour of riding, Logan pulls up to an old dilapidated house and he tells him, beautiful place you got here. And Vincent tells him, you're still the same old wise guy, eh? As the two walk in, Logan sniffs the air and quickly notices that there's a dead body here. Logan turns the light on and says that he's kind of surprised that he doesn't recognize him. Well, it has been 40 years. What if he told him his actual name? Bobby Fragacy. Logan says that that's not the name on his ID, and Bobby says he's been snooping around, huh? Briscoe's just what he goes by, but his real name is Robert Fragacy. Logan thinks to himself that he really hates these situations, other people knowing more about him than himself, like playing poker, and people can see his cards when he can't. Logan then grabs Bobby and pushes him against the wall, telling him, this is your last chance to tell me what's going on. I saved you twice. The third time won't be a charm. Bobby chokes and asks, you think I wanted to bring you here to talk? I need some damn money. I know all about Japan and the name Collinsworth you were going by. I even know about the bloodbath you left behind in LA. Logan throws Bobby onto a table shouting, you're lying. And then he asks, were you the one that left a note in my truck? Bobby gets up asking, note? I didn't leave any damn note. I haven't seen you in decades. Logan picks him up yelling, back on the road. I saw you pass by. And Bobby shouts, I wasn't following you. I just needed to talk to you so that I knew you wouldn't run. Logan asks, why did you run? And Bobby tells him, because I thought you might remember that I used to be an FBI agent who used to nail your ass to the wall. Logan sets him down and Bobby goes on telling him, I was on your ass for like a year. It was like I was your nemesis or whatever you call it. But even back then, you were as tough as you were smart. Always one step ahead before I could arrest you. Logan then asks if he knows him so well. How does he know that he wouldn't kill him? And Bobby says, it's because I've profiled you for years. You have more of a code. You only kill killers. Whenever you got in trouble, you'd always stash money for a clean getaway. Logan says, okay, you're right. I do have a stash. But if you want any of it, you're going to tell me everything about my past. Bobby reaches up into his closet and he pulls out a gun, pointing it at Logan, telling him, I know these bullets won't hurt you, but it'll slow you down enough until the cops can get here. Logan tells him, look, we both know you're not going to shoot me. Bobby asks, why wouldn't I? So Logan tells him, it would be because you must want to get away for a reason, and right now you're running out of options. You wouldn't shoot your last option. Bobby lowers his gun and tells him, fine. We're gonna make this quick. It all started in '78 in Chicago. I was an up-and-coming hotshot in the bureau. Nailing you was going to be my first big score. I followed you for months, always one step behind the Wolverine. One day, you gave me the slip in a public bathroom, and once you were out of my sight, you took down Joey Santoro and 3 of his men. You had beaten them all to death. Your work was something that we like to call in the bureau as overkill. Logan asks him, why didn't I use my claws? And Bobby says, you really must have crap for brains, huh? Logan pushes Bobby to the ground, and Bobby shouts, it's because you didn't have claws back then, you moron. And it's all because of you screwing up the Santoro case that my whole life turned to crap. I got fired from the bureau, my wife left me, I started drinking, doing blow. Things just went back to total crap. I started robbing banks, and with my knowledge of the FBI, it was easy. I was living large with women and all the drugs I could get my hands on until the cops finally busted me. So after 30 years, I finally busted out. And who the hell do I see not even a month later? The man that started it all. As Bobby goes on about his life story, Logan asks, when did I get my claws? And Bobby asks, how the hell should I know? And Logan grabs him, lifting him up by the neck. Bobby tells him, I already told you what I was doing. Robbing banks, doing blow, rotting away in the joint. As for the Wolverine, you went off the grid. Rumors are that you went to Japan. Logan begins to think about it, and then he realizes that they have bigger problems to worry about. Logan drags Bobby out, stating the cops are coming, and Bobby says that he can hotwire that car over there so he can break in. Bobby watches as Logan pops his claws and he pries open the door. He tells him, Jesus, you really are a freak. And Logan tells him to shut up and drive. As Bobby begins to drive off, Logan begins giving him directions to his stash, and Bobby yells, I knew you had some getaway money out here. Logan begins to point off into the distance, telling Bobby, over there, keep your headlights on. And Bobby parks, and he gets out asking, where is it? And Logan follows behind him as Bobby hears the schnicked. He looks back, and Bobby asks what he's going to do, and Logan lunges at him asking, who is the rotting body back in your house? Bobby grabs his gun. I bet you smelled them, you damn freak. He fires off a few rounds, and Logan swipes at Bobby's stomach, and then he lifts him up, cutting off his left arm. Bobby struggles to speak and tells him, some guy I broke out with. He's a crazy freak. After cutting Bobby's head off, Logan begins to clean the blood off himself, and he thinks that he hates to admit it, but that was fun. At least the coyotes will have a nice meal later. The next morning, Logan begins walking down a stretch of the highway when he sees a van pull up on the side of the road. Sean looks out the window asking, you need a lift, bro? And Logan tells him he actually does. Sean then says, go ahead and hop in, and don't worry, he doesn't hold any grudges. Logan gets into the van and he asks him, is it fate, or is this the start of my next nightmare? And there you have it, the conclusion to Volume 2 of Wolverine Max. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get the next part of this video, and you can also go ahead and find us on Twitter at Comicstorian, where every Wednesday we begin reviewing all of the new comic books that have come out, and you can go ahead and see our opinions on it, or you can tweet me your review on it with the hashtag single tweet review, and we will retweet it for you. It's a great place to learn about comics that have just come out and what everyone's opinions are.